Well, the time has come. Art of War Cage Fighting 31 Turnbull versus Cafaro is a couple days away, and I'm here to talk about one of the biggest regional fights that we've seen in quite some time. There are so many subplots and so many, nooks and crannies to this story. It's so much more than a fight. Let's talk about it. September 15th coming up at Valley Forge Casino for the Art of War Cage Fighting Featherweight Championship. We have first, let's talk about Ryan Cafaro. Ryan, listen, grew up in South Jersey. He's been fighting since 2009. That's a long time. He's been in the sport for a long time. I've known him for a long time. I mean, Ryan has been to my house for some fresh vegetables. I've had him over to watch UFC fights. I've seen him grow up in the sport. Early in his career, he was, and early in Paul Felder's career, he was Paul Felder's go-to guy for pad holding, and Ryan, used that to keep working and expanding and becoming really, an elite coach. I mean, Ryan has, trained and been a coach at Nick Catone MMA and upper, towards the shore in northern New Jersey, and, trained with UFC fighters and worked corners for UFC guys. He's been around, elite fighters, for a long time now, traveled across the world. And, Ryan, according to Tapology, Ryan is the number one ranked, 145 pounder, not in the UFC, both in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So he feels he's an elite fighter too. He's 10-5. He's won 3 in a row. And, Ryan thinks he's got UFC talent and he would love to add that to his resume. And, he was looking for a big fight. And, next thing you know, he heard, this is all from Ryan, he heard that, Matt Turnbull wanted to fight him and he accepted the fight. Matt Turnbull accepted the fight immediately. So Ryan, was looking for a big fight, but, he was like, out of respect, saying, wow, this guy really wants to fight me. I can't, be disrespectful. And he took this fight. Let's talk about Matt Turnbull, because Matt Turnbull is another guy who's been in the sport for a long time. He's an OG. I mean, he made his debut in 2012 at Harrah's at XFE, and I was there for this fight against Joel Vasquez. And Joel Vasquez hit him with everything, including a kitchen sink. And I learned quickly about Matt Turnbull, about how tough he is and the heart he has, because, no matter what he got hit with, he kept coming, and you know what? He's used that to, get through his amateur career, and now he's 6-4 as a pro. He's won 4 in a row. He's surging. And listen, Matt's been around, just like Ryan, Matt's been around, elite fighters for most of his career too. I mean, let's start with his head coach, Will Martinez. I mean, Will Martinez, Bellator veteran. I mean, he was 13-3. He's an OG, accomplished grappler. And Will Martinez, to me, is, one of the greatest fighters in the history of, the city of Philadelphia. So, Matt's been with him his whole career. Will told me that, Matt is the most loyal guy he's ever had. And, the relationship between those two guys is way more than coach and fighter. So, Will already is a great coach. So I know he's going to be coaching even harder, watching film, doing what he can, because this is a big fight for both guys. I mean, when you look at it, Turnbull is fighting the number one guy. Matt still has aspirations. He's 6-4. Like I said, he wants to get another win. He wants to advance his career. And there's so much involved here because, Will and Ryan coached together on Ultimate Fighter. Ryan's been commentating for us, and he's called a couple of Matt's fights. These guys know each other so well. They have all the same friends. I mean, there's just so many ins and outs and so many stories that intersect. And then, of course, we had a little bit of, of entertainment and a little maybe bad blood or some disrespect. I don't know what you want to call it at the press conference. And these two guys, a little bit going back on social media. So, now I don't know if they like one another. I don't know. Maybe it's just for the show. But listen, both of these guys, I love both of them. It's a hard fight for me to see and call. I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong, but I've rooted for both of these guys to win their whole career. And now, they're facing off. So it's going to be a great card. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of people, everybody in the New Jersey and Pennsylvania region are going to be, tuned into this fight. They want to know what happens in this fight because both of these guys, like I said, if you're in the fight game in this area, you're friends with one of these guys, you've trained with one of these guys, one of these guys because that's how long they've both been in the fight game, in the sport. And like I said, they both have just so many relationships, and they've both been gentlemen of the sport. They've both contributed to the community, and they're both lifers, man. Both of these guys are going to be in it for a long time. They not just for themselves, but both guys have worked so hard helping other fighters get ready for fights. And like I said, they have fight family for life, these guys. So this is going to be a hell of a main event. Mike Bickings put it together, and Jillian Peterson. It's it's a regional, it's an epic regional battle, and like I said, both guys want this win. It's the most important fight for both of these guys of their career. Ryan being number one, he feels like he's putting a little risk on taking this fight, but listen, it's the main event. It's for a title, so it is a pretty big fight for Ryan. And like I said, Ryan wants to get a victory and try to move on, and so does Matt. But the rest of the card, there's a lot of other good fights on this card, so I want to talk about a couple of them first, besides the main event, which is going to be a banger. We can't wait. Both guys, listen, on the fight real quick with those two, both of those guys love to stand and throw, so, I'm expecting them to meet in the center of the cage and throw down, and may the best man win. Like I said, I love both of you guys, seriously, friends for life, you guys. Matt, I love you. Ryan, you're my man, dude, both of you guys. I hope you both come out healthy, and nothing but the best for both of you after this fight, man. You know what it's about. Best man win and all that. Just be respectful. Appreciate it. Now, as far as the undercard, Gordon Wigginton. I see you hiding back there, Gordon. Listen, I know you haven't been in a cage in a while, but you've been working corners, you've been training, you've been getting better, and I know that you can't wait to get back in there. I talked to your opponent, Daniel Tolbert, at the press conference, and he is ready to roll. So you better bring your A game, Gordon, because Daniel's ready to roll. He said he wants to knock out. And in another fight, Eddie Alvarez. Listen, he's taking on Turnbull Kamzayev. These two guys, high energy, both love to strike. Neither have ever been in a boring fight. This is going to be high paced, fast action. I really doubt we'll see either guy look for a takedown the whole fight, and it's going to be an exciting one. And making his debut, listen, pro debut, Abraham Charles, after 4-0 as an amateur. Abraham Charles is stepping in, to the pro ranks, and well deserved. He's very impressive. He's 26 years old now. I think he has a bright future, and he's welcoming in Tim Bender from Minnesota, who was 1-0 as a pro, and he's coming in, and we're going to get to see him for the first time. So Abraham Charles is making his pro debut. And in the amateur ranks, listen, we got a big title fight in the amateur ranks. Anthony the Hound Dog Hogaback is taking on Eric Bites, and listen, Eric Bites is 3-0. He's another huge prospect. I love his game. He's a dog. And Hogaback, listen, he's got 3 wins himself, so he's looking to get that title and put his name in there. We also have some other talented guys on the undercard, amateurs, that are coming up, so you don't want to miss this card. Like I said, AOW 31, September 15th. Valley Forge Casino, we're visiting for the first time. If you can't make it there, you can get it on the Star Fund app and order it up for like $20. First bell is at 7 o'clock, and like I said, this is a fight everybody wants to see. You won't be disappointed. Order it up. MyMMAnews.com, Art of War Cage Fighting. Here we go. Art of War Cage Fighting 31. I'll be cage side on the call with Earl Trouble Small, talking to some of the winners. We're going to have a lot of fun, man. Let's do it. Bring on the fights.